So today we have our Google Suite Back to the Basics class. To get started, I am going to go through Gmail first, and then I am going to talk about Google Calendar, and then I'm going to talk about Google Drive. And whatever questions you guys have, we can always go from there too. Who here has like a Gmail account? Okay. And okay, perfect. And how comfortable do you feel with like using majority of it? Or like using the features it has, other than just sending an email?
I feel pretty confident.
Okay,
Pretty
good.
comfortable around it.
Pretty
I
comfortable?
would like a good review because everything's been self-taught and there's pieces of information missing in my education.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna go through like settings and stuff like that too. So I am gonna go ahead and sign into my account. And get started from there. Okay, so pretty much whenever you sign on, you always just get your homepage, right? The cool thing about Gmail, and usually I think Gmail has just a lot more features and stuff. So you can make it so that it's easier for you to organize your emails. So I have mine set up that my unread emails always show up at the top. Then anything I've already read will populate down here to the bottom. Okay. You can do that by clicking over here and clicking the settings, little settings button. I know you can't see it very well. I can't move that, unfortunately. Little settings button up here. If you click that, then it pops out this little bar. Now there's a way for here, you can make your density, you can change it to like default, comfortable, or compact. If I do compact, then it just makes it so then that way it's a lot smaller. Like the lines of the emails and stuff just makes it smaller. I keep mine on default. I don't like things to be crowded. I don't want to miss anything. You can also choose like different themes. So you can change like the colors of your background if you want to do that. But this is basically your inbox type. So this is what I was just talking about. So I have all my unreads at the top. So I selected this unread first. You can also do it so it says important first. You see this little arrow here. We have our arrows on any emails that are technically labeled important to me. Those important emails usually come from the people that email me a lot or that I have in my contacts. So those are people that I am familiar with that I do get emails pretty regularly from. You can also do starred. So you do have a starred folder over here on the left. That is if you're starring any of your emails. I typically star stuff that I don't ever want to lose. So like you guys got your Scott Leroy emails, star that, keep it in your starred folder, makes it easy for you to go back and forth. I also recommend maybe starring the email that I sent you after your onboarding, because again, it's just putting it into a folder that you're not having to search for it.
Just putting the star on it, puts it in a folder?
Yep. See the little star, little thing right here?
Mhm.
This is saying it's not starred, but I can star it. So that would put all your starred ones first though, if you want to organize your inbox like that. You can do a priority inbox as well, which is customizing it. So you can actually select what emails are priority to you. And you can put your priority first, and then it will go to anything else. Multiple inboxes. This is if you have like, if you're wanting to have multiple inboxes as your homepage, you can do that too. So if you have like an inbox, or then you also have like, I have stuff that automatically gets sent into like labels or folders. So I could always populate to make sure that that inbox is also showing on my homepage. There's like reading panes over here. So I don't have a split on mine. I can make a split. So these are like tasks that can show up on the side. And then there's like one that's like a below inbox. Again, like your tasks and stuff that you have on that side. Any questions on your settings? If you do see all settings, so I'm going to go in there really quick. See all settings. This is where you can update like your general information. So like your display language. This is where you can also select your country codes, how many conversations per page. So basically how many emails that you want on there. Send cancellations, enabling different actions. And the good thing is that they label a lot, or like they tell you descriptions of what that actually is. As you can see, I don't usually have a lot of mine in here. A lot of mine are turned off just because why complicate it? I just have mine as like a pretty basic, other than trying to keep it as organized for myself. Grammar suggestions are on, spelling suggestions are on. Highly recommend those, you guys, because I swear, I have looked up before and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I need to update, I need to edit a lot of that. Auto correcting is good. I don't have writing suggestions on. This is something that's pretty new. So this is, or not new, but it's basically like if you're saying, thank you so much, please let me know if you have any questions at the end of an email. If you say like, please let me know, then it will say, if you have any questions, you tab, you basically hit the tab button and then it'll finish your sentence for you. So that I have that off. I don't prefer it. So, you know, it's all about what you prefer. Personalization. So it's basically just of course, it's a technology thing. So it's learning how you write. Conversation view. So conversation view is basically, it's any emails that, it says it right there, whether emails of the same topic are grouped together. So, I mean, if you are talking about the same thing in multiple different emails to people, but it's kind of picking up that you're talking about the same thing, then it kind of groups those together. Any nudges? I do really like nudges. So this is if you need to follow up on an email. So maybe you sent an email 3 days ago to somebody, it'll pop up at the top and it will say, do you want to follow up? And then I can dismiss the nudge, or I can go into the email, send another one as like a follow-up. And that's really nice. Because if somebody hasn't responded to you in like 3 or 5 or 6 days, I think it's like up to 7 days, then it will say that. And send your follow-up email. Same thing with like replying to, like, hey, you didn't reply to this email, you got it 5 days ago. That's another one. I really like it. Highly recommend. These are just like different smart features and stuff. Obviously, I just have those on. For your stars, so when you're starring, you can change it to, you can add other star options. So I just have a bunch of different colored stars and I kind of star them based on like, okay, like red is KW stuff, like green is maybe like my team stuff or something that it just, again, makes sense. But they also have like little exclamation points, check marks. So you can like move these if you want to start using those. Just moving them in. Keyboard shortcuts are off. You can also have check all the learn more options, but I recommend just kind of going through your settings and kind of updating it to how it works for you, This is for email signatures. So this is actually how you would input your email signature. I have mine set as a JPEG. So it's just basically a photo. So when I created it, I downloaded it as a photo and then I input it in there. There is some compliance pieces that do need to be on your email signatures, and in designs on command, they have a lot of templates that you can use. So you can do that, but pretty much, I mean, as long as you're probably gonna have your name, you're probably gonna have the Keller Williams logo. You do need to have our franchise statement and our address and our phone number. We have been emailing you guys all of the marketing compliance constantly, or we've been emailing out the marketing compliance stuff. It's also on our internal page. I posted that on Tuesday. So if you're ever unsure about marketing compliance, you can check back in there. There's a whole checklist for social media posts, for print marketing, everything. And if you really have a question, send it to me. I will check it for compliance to make sure that it is.
Will somebody help us review for the business card? Make sure we get it right.
Yeah, you can send it to me.
Okay.
Yep. I do all the marketing and stuff, marketing compliance stuff.
Where can we find that?
For what? The marketing
Like the
stuff?
checklist.
Oh, yeah. I posted on the internal page in the files on Tuesday.
Okay.
And you should have been started getting the emails and stuff like this week.
Okay.
But I'll double check, but the Facebook page usually has everything. So if you go to the internal Facebook page, files, I put the compliance tags that you can just add to all of your photos, or even to your email signatures or business cards. It has everything you need on it, plus the checklist.
Okay.
It's all in there. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Email signatures and stuff. So I have signature defaults, so it just automatically says my name as well. So you can always change those too. Vacation responders. Here we go. Snippets. Sorry, I missed that. This is like a lot smaller. So on my homepage, you can see that it says who the email's from and it has the subject line, but then it also starts telling me like what the actual context of that email is. So that's like the little snippets part. I'm gonna go back and go down. Vacation responders. So you just basically put what day you want it to start on, what day you want it to end on, and you type your message. Pretty much just like when you're out of town and things like that. You're an agent though, so I don't know. I mean, you can still put a vacation responder on and be like, hey, please contact this person. They're handling my showings while I'm in Italy. You know, different time zones, those can be hard. But yes. Other things that are in here at the very top. So this is just my general. Next, I have labels. These labels are over here on the left. Labels are technically folders. Okay, so we have our labels. We have all of, it shows like which ones I want shown. So these are the ones up here that are generated automatically by Google. So here's my starred, my snoozed. I don't snooze a lot of emails. You can. Basically, you have an option to hit like the snooze button, which I'll talk about here in a second. And it just kind of puts it away somewhere. So then that way, and you can snooze it for like a day and be like, okay, I want to make sure I have this at the top of my email tomorrow. Of course, your sent, your drafts. Drafts are basically any emails that you haven't finished that you didn't delete. So you didn't hit the delete, the little trash can button. You just X'd out of it, or maybe the page got closed. They go into your drafts. I have 8 drafts, as you can see. It happens to me a lot. Then all I did was click this little more button. And there's some other options here too, like your trash, your spam folders, and you can make different categories too. But the labels is what I tend to use the most. And the great thing about the labels is it's whenever I have an email that I'm done replying to, or I don't like my emails to go into my unread space down below. They do, it happens. But I like to put them in a folder because then that way it cleans out my inbox and just puts them in a folder. And you can see like I have like For Imprint, it's basically like a company that we use for a lot of our promotional items. They email me a lot, but when I have placed an order, anything that involves For Imprint goes immediately into that folder. I do it with a receipts label. Sorry, labels and folders are interchangeable. I do it with like receipts. I do it with invoices. You guys can do it for like seller, buyer, inspection. Like you can also make a label for every property that you're actually working with or every buyer that you're working with. And you can have different like categories. So, oh, well, these are my categories for something else, but you can have like labels that nest under each other. So you can put like a seller label and then do a nest underneath that and put every maybe buyer you're working with. And it just keeps all of those emails in one place. Okay. Let me see here. So yeah, this is basically where I can manage my labels. This is where you can manage your inbox. These are just like a little bit more detailed subsections of those main areas. Different account settings. So changing your password, recovery. This is your account information. Filters and blocked addresses. So, I mean, it basically matches from anything. I apparently have a lot. This email has been around since before me. So, and I thought I was going to use my KW email, but I think it's important just to see like how I have my everyday inbox. So
There's a lot of emails I've been trying to block.
Yeah.
But I'm still getting them.
have you been unsubscribing from them too?
Okay, no.
Unsubscribe, because when you guys first joined, you get a lot of emails. And it's basically because Keller Williams has many contracts with so many different companies, which is awesome because you guys have.
I want those. I just don't want your pet stuff.
Okay, yeah, there's always an unsubscribe at the
Just
bottom.
unsubscribe,
Yep,
okay.
at the bottom of every email. Because if they're coming from a mailing list, then they have to put an unsubscribe. It's the same thing with you guys. When you're
Right.
sending out those emails through MailChimp, they have the option to unsubscribe from them.
I just moved them to spam, but they're still coming into my regular.
Yeah, you can also, so this is basically how you can also add, I think, filters. Or hold on.
So they don't
Let
have
me-
so many.
Yeah, let me open one and I might be able to find where we can actually spam them. Different forwarding options, but I mean, this doesn't really, I don't use any of that. add-ons. So I do use Google Chat. I use it over here with like other people that have Gmails. So the chat option is really cool. So if you are on a team or something, you guys can always like chat. Or if you, like, I have a virtual assistant and he's in the Philippines and I chat with him every single day. That's honestly just how I talk to him. You can also create spaces, which are groups of people. So there's like a whole group of people that you can talk to. So you can put like 3 or 4 people in one. It's just nice. It's kind of similar to like, I've used like Slack before. It's just like workplace conversation rooms, basically. So you're not like calling people or texting people on the phone, like you're just chatting with them online.
So what does the virtual assistant run?
I don't know. I'd have to look. It's through the
They
company.
provide it because of all the stuff you have.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, they do. He does a lot of back end, like data entry and stuff like that. They're definitely more cost effective than hiring a full-time admin or like a part-time admin in person.
Oh, yeah, yeah, no.
But
I
there's
want
companies,
one.
a lot of our agents use them.
I've been looking at that, but I don't know how to get there.
Yeah. Okay, so here are some advanced features. So I do use templates a lot, and I'll show you guys templates here in a second. Keyboard shortcuts. I don't use a lot of keyboard shortcuts, but there's some shortcuts that you can utilize from your keyboard, like copy and paste or undo. Those are probably the ones I use the most. And it's just using like your control or your command and like control C is copy, control V is paste, control Z is undo. But there's always a list of those that you can find online if you're ever wanting to kind of just be a little bit faster with learning those quick ones. Online, offline, so you can put yourself as like offline. I don't have it. There's not enough space for me. But it's basically like you're basically saying like, I'm not available at this time, or like it'll automatically say that you're offline. But yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my inbox really fast and I'm gonna open, let's open this MailChimp one. So MailChimp monthly. So there's some options up here that you have. So you can archive this. So it's not deleting it. So archiving it just puts it in a separate space. So you could always archive it. You can report spam. So there you go. There's like a little exclamation point. You can delete it, which I will probably end up doing with this one. You can mark it as unread. So this is something I do utilize a lot as well. So say you've read the email, but you're like, I'm not ready to respond to this yet. For me, I do it as a reminder. I just mark it as unread, so it stays in my unread at the very top of my inbox, okay? You can snooze it. So like I said, so if I click snooze, then you can snooze it until later today. I can snooze it tomorrow, this weekend, next week. It's kind of like, or you can like pick a date and time. It's basically kind of like you're snoozing like your phone. And you're like, I'm not ready to like look at this yet, but that's just why I use the unread, because if it's out of sight for me, it's out of mind. So I don't typically use the snooze that much, but it's definitely something you guys can do. You do have something called tasks. Task is basically like, oh, I got this email as a reminder to schedule my inspector for, 1234 Main Street. You can add it as a task. It will pop up here on my task list. Okay, basically takes the entire email and puts it over in your task list, which is pretty cool. I'm a big check mark person, so I do utilize that sometimes, depending on what it is. You can move to, so this is basically how I would move it to a label. So these are all of my labels. And if I want to put it in a certain label, I can just type it, put it right in there. You can also, some of the other options is you can report to spam and put it in trash that way. You can manage your labels or create a new label. If you're like, oh, I don't have one for this yet, you can create a new one that way. This, then you can add it to multiple labels. So if this was something that maybe like that would go with both labels, it would put it in both of those places. Okay, like this is a promotion, and then I would put it in MailChimp too. Cool, now it's in both of those. On the more option, you can do mark as unread up here, mark it as important, adding a star. You can also add a star over here. You can reply to the email up here, but you can also just go down to the bottom of the email and click reply or forward.
How do you bookmark it?
Well, you don't want to bookmark an email because it's not going to bookmark an email. It's going to bookmark Gmail. It's going to bookmark a browser.
Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
what's the difference?
Emails are gonna stay within your browser of Gmail, whereas, if you're wanting to bookmark certain browsers, then, or certain, pages, then that's when you would use that for. So like
Okay.
up here, you can see I have, oh, hold on, let me go over here. So this is like a travel one. If I click down on that, these are like, this is a bookmark folder I created. And this is like everything that would have to do with travel that I maybe use. And these are just like shortcuts. It's like bookmark shortcuts. But I'll talk about that here, probably towards the end, okay?
Okay,
Okay, you can also like print the email. When you do the print, it makes it a lot easier than just like right clicking and then printing. Because if you do that, it's not gonna print the whole email. You wanna actually click the print button inside your email. To reply to an email, you've got a few other options too. These are like your undo and redo buttons. You can change out your font. This is your text size. Normal is always good. But if you're trying to get a point across, I guess, make it huge. I don't know. Bold, italicized, and underlined, just like on like Word documents or anything like that. You can change your text color. So background color is kind of like a highlight. So it'll be like, this is the background color, and then you can do an in, like a within color, which is your text color. You can left align, center, and right align. You can do numbered lists and bulleted lists, just like you can do on documents or anything. Indentations, left or right, quotation marks, strike throughs, removing different formatting. So those are options with actually within your email. You can also attach files. So this is formatting options. You can attach files directly from your computer. You can also put in emojis if you want to. You can also insert files using your Google Drive, which I'm going to talk about that after we talk about about calendar and stuff. But Google Drive is pretty much just, it's basically a hard drive. It's basically a cloud-based service that can hold whatever you want in there. It's also another one of those things that you can share to people, and they will always have access to it until you remove their access from it, which you can do, which is nice. But that's great if you do have like a folder of maybe documents, and at the end of your transaction, you want to send that folder over to your clients, you can do that. Or if you have like a folder with all of your marketing materials that you really like to use, or your listing presentations, you can actually put them inside your Google Drive, but you can access them from anywhere. So like I was talking about with like Microsoft Excel or anything like that, you have to save them, and maybe you only have access to it on one computer because you saved it to your computer.
right.
Google can be accessed from anywhere that you are signing into your Gmail account, because it is all connected, or into your Google account, I guess. So really cool. But you can actually like grab documents directly from your Google Drive. You can insert photos this way. You can put on a confidential mode. I've never used that before. It might be interesting. And you can also input your signature. More options are templates. So I love to use templates. As you can see, I have tons. When I send you guys emails, sometimes it's possibly a template, but I might have like switched or added something or attached a file, because I send the same email quite a few times. Like your welcome to Keller Williams email. If there's something specific we talked about in your onboarding, I'll add that in the email too. You can make those edits. So let me see. Here's like a KW onboarding docs. This is something that I just already formatted, and I can choose it as a template. And then all I have to do is put whoever I'm replying to, which right now is MailChimp because I'm just replying to that email. You can then attach any files that you need to. As you can see, this is my email signature. It popped up. I typically would delete that whenever I'm using a template. And when you are using templates, you want to make sure that you delete your email signature before you save it as a template, because your Gmail will always put a signature on there. So then it would technically double my signature. So it's always kind of good. I mean, whatever, if it doubles your signature, it's not a big deal. But I have 2 different email signatures. Looks a little weird, but just a little tip there. But I really like templates. It's pretty much just like if you're sending the same email that's going to have the same context over and over and over again, you can create a template that's easy, so you don't have to type it out every time. And you can still edit it. You can do printing, check spelling, and all of that. set up a time to meet. So this is really cool. This is if you are, this is for Google Calendar. So you can actually offer times that you are free, which this is new. This is pretty cool. Oh, cool. Then it pops up my calendar and I can choose how many fine times you can meet. Okay, that's really cool. So pretty much you can add in here, like how much time you want to meet for. Here's a date, and then you can put that in there. Cool. And then you add it to your email. Where did it go? Oh, it's down here. Cool. Here's proposed time. So you can add in as many times as you want. That can also work out well when you're working with your clients. Sorry, that was a new feature. It literally said it was brand new. So Google's just getting better. Or you can also create an event as well. It'll pop up your calendar. And what's really nice is that it will take the subject line and put it into your calendar. So you're not having to double type it. And all I did was go here, set up a time to meet, offer times you're free, or just create an event. And it popped up my calendar over here on the right. Okay, any questions on Gmail?
Can you do that, select a time to meet?
Yeah.
Again,
Here, I'll do a new compose message. So in order to start one, you just pretty much click compose. So I'm gonna go ahead and click over here for more options and the little 3 dots down here in the corner. And then I'm gonna choose select the time, set up a time to meet. Which one? Create an event or offer times? Oh gosh, just wave your hand. Wave your hand. Okay, great. They can't see me up here, so, and I know I move around. Which one were you needing? Offer times to meet?
Yeah, mine's a little bit different than that.
Okay, we can also take a look at it because it might just be a feature.
Okay.
But pretty much whenever you're starting an email, I already showed up in like the reply part, but you can put in who you want to send it to. If you want to CC somebody, that's basically like somebody who's not the full context of maybe the email recipient. It's pretty much just a person that needs to see it or also be on it. And if you BCC, it's a blind carbon copy. So CC is carbon copy. It's basically blind carbon copy, pretty much. If you do a BCC, then that means that the people that are under the BCC cannot see who else you sent it to. And then other people cannot see that they are on the email, but they get the email. So sometimes it's like, oh, BCC me on that so I can see it. And then that way they don't know that you also sent it to me. So it's something kind of cool there. Okay, cool. Let's go to calendar. I'm going to show that. So Google Calendar is my best friend. I love it. So pretty much you can set up yours however you would like. What's really nice is that you can color code them. So I color coordinate mine by, my onboardings are always yellow. My classes I teach are always green. My meetings with my team are always purple. And, you know, just so on and so forth. And it just helps me structure how I see my calendar. Because if everything's in one color, I'm not gonna read it. I'm just not. So it's not really funny. But pretty much here, it's just showing there's a nice little line that shows the actual time of the day that it is. And you can also set alerts before, so it'll alert you like however many minutes before a thing on your calendar is coming up. Since I have like the Gmail and the calendar app and stuff on my phone, I actually get alerts to like my watch, I get alerts to my phone, everything. So it'll show me exactly when I need to be somewhere. If you're somebody who kind of needs help keeping track of time, I have a timer that goes off every morning while I'm getting ready that says get in the car and go to work, or else you're going to be late. Like,
I love it.
at the same time every morning, and my husband drives me crazy, but it's just a reminder.
I lose track of time.
I lose track of time all the time. I'll be in my closet looking for something to wear. My alarm goes off and I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna wear today or else I'm gonna be late for work. So yeah, but you can do the same thing with your calendar. You can actually put alerts for it. So this is a basic overview here of what it is. Over here on the left, you have your, monthly calendar. You can click through all of that in order to check that. These are all the calendars that I technically have access to. And you can share your calendar with other people. People can share their calendars with you, and you can do certain views so they can just view it. They can make edits to it, anything like that. So I have a lot of calendars, but mainly I just have mine on usually, and I have our region one. So if I click this off, then then, so sorry. Sorry, I forgot that it was.
I thought you did.
I forgot I took it.
Not my friend, not my friend.
Okay. Lunchtime, it's a really big deal. I can click this off though, and you see how some of those meetings actually leave my calendar? So you can click on as many calendars as you want, so you can see across the board. I do this a lot because I just keep the Greater Heartland one up because I have a lot of calls that I'm on for it every week, but I can click it off if I'm like, okay, I don't need to look at those this week. I can also like click on other people's calendars and it just kind of gives you a heart attack looking at other people's calendars, but it's really nice. You can also formulate it so that you have different birthdays that pop up. That's if you're actually using the birthday part of it, but it's really nice. Okay, I'm gonna go to our settings menu though really quick, and I'm gonna click this settings button. There's not a ton of settings with calendar, they make it as simple as possible. Pretty much my general, my language and region, my time zone, the world clock. If I want to show a world clock, I can. So maybe you have family members or someone that's traveling to another part of the country, then you can always put that on. Event settings. So my event settings, my default durations are always 60 minutes. So when I click on a time on my calendar to make an event or make a calendar notification, or make an event, they will always populate 60 minutes. I can adjust it however I want whenever I'm making it, but it will always be 60 minutes. You can make it as long as you want. 30 minutes, 90 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever you want to do. 60, I feel like is a safe time. I feel like if a meeting's going over 60 minutes, then maybe it's time for a second meeting because that's a lot of information, right? Default guest permission, so inviting others to see guest lists. So this is if you are setting up an event that has lots of people involved in it, you can actually turn off the guest list so that the other people that are in the event cannot see that other people are also attending. Add invitations to my calendar only if the sender is known. I actually don't even know what that part is. Invitations. Interesting. Hold on. What's this?
One of the issues I've had is I have like about 24 different Gmails, so I'm not always aware of which email is putting that like Zoom class on.
Yep. So I have about 3 different emails. I have like a personal email, and then I like a personal Gmail that I used only for my wedding. And then I have my personal Gmail with my married name. And then I have this one. This is the only calendar I put anything on.
How do you
Choose
make
one
sure
calendar.
it just goes to that one?
When you're logged in, you need to make sure in the top right corner that this icon is the actual one that you want to use.
Okay.
So I do have a couple, I don't have my phone anymore. She stole it. On it, so you can see in the top right-hand corner, I would just put different pictures, like maybe for your Keller Williams one, putting like your headshot, and then maybe for like your other ones, putting like something else. So then that way, you know, to trigger to say like, oh, I need to double check and make sure I'm switching into a different Gmail account.
Okay.
But I have all of my Gmail accounts signed into my Gmail app or my calendar app. But I just go in and I select which one, and you can make one profile a default profile.
Oh, good, because I mean, I have a cloud of like 17,000 pictures, and I'm
Yeah.
noticing that that's happened over the last 4 years, photos.
Yep,
They go into specific emails and I'm like, how did this happen, you know?
yep.
So finding them, I have to go into the right email.
Mhm. So, for this, it's like adding all invitations to your calendar. So this is if somebody like emails
Okay.
you. So this is what they email you and they send you a calendar invite. It does get added to my calendar, but it's like blocked. I can probably show that because I probably have some sitting there. It's blocked until I actually accept it. But I get an email in my email inbox that says you have a new like event, and it'll say who's in it, who sent it. I can click accept, decline, or like other options, which is basically you sending a different time or date, because that one doesn't specifically work for you. Desktop notifications. So this is like snoozing those. Here's like more notification settings. These view options, so you can change this however you want. So I have mine that shows weekends, because in that I do put like my personal stuff on there. So like if I am going to an event on Saturday or like a baby shower or something like that, then I put it on there, because again, this is the only calendar I'm checking on a daily basis. So I put everything on it. I don't care if my team can see it. I mean, whatever. You know, I went to a baby shower. Cool. How was it? Love it. Show declined events. So I do have these on here. So it'll basically strike through. Let me pull up another one of these. It'll basically strike through something if I decline it. What can I decline? I'm gonna decline this. So I'm gonna click no, this event, and see how it strikes through, strike throughs it. But it still shows it on here until I actually go in and if I delete it, okay? So this is me, if I delete it, I'm gonna go ahead and put yes. Haley's gonna be very confused, but it's okay. As you can see here, so this has, see how it's kind of not fully filled in? It's kind of got like an outline to it. That means I haven't accepted it, but I have been sent an invite. So you can go in, I can click accept. Sure, I guess I'll teach New Age and Orientation next Wednesday. I believe I probably sent all of you, yeah, an invite to it. But yeah, so I mean, it's a lot easier on a viewpoint, of course, like on your desktop, but I use it on my phone in the mornings. Like I pull up my calendar every morning when I wake up and I see like what I've got going on that day. Kind of helps either peace of mind or be like, all right, I'm gonna need about 3 cups of coffee before I get started with my day. I'm gonna go back here really quick. Other things is you can show your week numbers. So that's, I think, like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Shorter events, the same size as 30 minutes. So that would basically be like if you have a 15-minute meeting on your calendar, which I don't usually have anything less than like 30 minutes, but it will automatically show it as 30 minutes, which is kind of nice. Because I'll put reminders on here sometimes, and those reminders really only need to be 15 minutes for me to complete a task, but sometimes I don't see it. So you can always make it so it's the default that it's always showing 30 minutes. This is really important because I found out yesterday that this is not a default for you guys. Reduce the brightness of past events. I'm gonna unclick this and I'm gonna do this really quick. Look at what happened. It didn't gray out or like lighten any of my past like days or past hours of the day. I can't read this, okay? This makes me feel like I didn't check off my day. Like I did not check off that event. So really important to go into your settings, down in your general, your options, your view options, reduce the brightness of past events. It just kind of grays them out. So that way you can see like, oh, okay, that's done. You can also do viewing calendars side by side. You can change what day of the week you want your calendar to start on. My custom view is always 5 days. Alternating calendars. No, I don't need to do that. That's different languages. Emails from Gmail. So show events automatically created by Gmail in my calendar. That's what I just showed. So the one that showed up next week, I know I have another one. Here's like ALC meeting. I haven't accepted it. It will automatically show on your calendar, which is nice because what if you miss the email, you know? And then of course, some more email shortcuts. This is basically how you can add calendars. So if you are wanting to like coordinate with a spouse or a child or maybe a coworker or a teammate, then you can actually subscribe to different calendars, creating new ones, and basically sharing those too. I think that's actually somewhere else. But it's down here. I don't remember. Okay, calendars though, feel better. Questions on that? What we talk about a lot in real estate is time blocking. So blocking on your calendar, your time that you are going to lead generate. Or if you are in school, or if you do have a full-time job or a part-time job, blocking on your calendar when you're going to focus on real estate. Typically what a lot of our agents do is they lead generate from 9 to 11 every day. That's when they sit down in front of their computer, they open their commands, they go through their tasks for the day. Majority of those tasks are probably calling people, texting people, setting up appointments, right? They're gonna go through those, they're gonna make their phone calls, and they're gonna go through all of that. That's what we call lead generation. And what I have learned is if it's not on your calendar, it does not exist. So I highly recommend putting that time on there and be like, I'm gonna do my command cleanup right here. I'm gonna call 10 people in this hour or this 2 hours or whatever, okay? And then you use your database to keep track of all of that information too. So you use your database to put in your notes and all of that. So you use your KW command. That's our database, right? I have plenty of classes to teach on that, promise. But yeah, I use my calendar like crazy. I'm gonna show Google Drive really fast because it doesn't take that long to go through. And then I am gonna answer any questions. So one thing that's really nice about Google too, so you saw like I clicked over here, I can manage my account. I can like add another account, sign out, all of that. If you click this little, I don't know, what is it? Oh, you can't really see it. It's like not, you guys have it on your computer, so. It's a little like grid. If you click on that grid, it's gonna populate all of your other Gmail or maybe like the things that you go to the most. So obviously my account stuff, I do go to YouTube a lot. My Gmail's on here, my Google Drive. This is like your little hub, like your Google hub. So you can find anything anywhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and click my Google Drive. It's gonna pop that up. What's really nice is, so this is my personal drive. So anything that's in it is mine, okay? But I do have other folders down here. So it always shows like my suggested. My suggested is like, it's basically spreadsheets that I open a lot. You often open around this time, you often open around this time, you've opened it frequently, things like that. I have never opened this, so I bet someone else is logged into my account, but shows that these are the ones I open a lot. These are different folders that I have that I keep track of. We have this is like what we call our MC shared drive. So this is our Market Center shared drive. If I go here, I can see every person that has access to this drive.
Is that the one with like the scripts on it and stuff?
That is a Google Drive that I have shared with you guys.
I-
Or if you talk to Shanna,
Okay,
Shanna has a whole different drive for coaching.
okay,
Yeah.
all right.
But the original one that I sent in your first email that you got after your welcome to Keller Williams, that's a Google Drive too, that has a lot of those resources too. I've got some
Okay.
scripts and stuff in there. She just has a separate one for coaching.
Okay,
But that's really nice because see, you can share it with people, right? And then you can access it from wherever. And it'll be in your shared with me over here. I click shared with me. It shows anything that has been shared with me recently. You can edit this to make it so that all my folders are up top as well. So it makes it nice. I don't typically do that because normally I'm getting shared like spreadsheets or documents and that's really what I need to see. But it's cool because, let me go back to here. You can see who those people are. You can change what they can do in it. So you can change if they're viewers, commenters, or editors, or if I need to just remove access. All these people are on my team. They're all on my team that I work with every single day. So that's why they have access to that. And then they can pull any information from that Google folder in that Google Drive, wherever they're at. So like if I'm at home or something and someone calls me and says, hey, like what, can you, like, what's Shanna's phone number? And like, what if I didn't have it in my phone? I can pull up the actual spreadsheet because it's one that's shared constantly. I can go to my Google Sheets in my phone and I can pull that up. Or if I need to pull up a certain document and say like, hey, when did this person, what was their start date? I can pull it up from wherever I'm at. Phone, tablet, anywhere you can sign into your Google platform. I love it. I don't know. If you're working with multiple people on the same information, it's just such a nice streamlined way of making sure that all of your documents are where they need to be. You can also change like your views and stuff. So there's like different filter toolbars. There's like different layouts. So this is a list layout. I don't love list layouts. I prefer bubbles, I guess, like little folder bubbles. And there's always the settings for your Google Drive too. You go to settings, pretty much just shows you like, oh, this is what your storage is at. You can buy more if you want to. If you're using your Keller Williams accounts, you get 100 gigabytes. Okay, 100 gigabytes of storage. I mean, like I said, this email has been around since before me and I'm only at 40 gigabytes and I share stuff to the drive constantly. Like it's a lot of storage, so it's really nice. But yeah, you can change different uploads, offline features, notifications. You can get updates about Google Drive items in your browser, anything like that. Okay. Questions on the Google Drive. This is really nice for whenever you are working with clients and you have documents and stuff and you're like, okay, this file is all done. I'm going to go ahead and download all my documents out of my DocuSign and I'm gonna put them in a folder in my Google Drive. And you can make a folder. You can just left click or right click, new folder. You can put seller. And then in the seller one, you can actually have different, like more folders. You can basically make like folders within folders within folders. So this is within my agent services one. I have a bunch of different folders in here. And then don't you worry, I have a bunch of different folders inside of here. Let me see. Oh, here's a coaching program one. Look, here's more. You can put as many folders inside of each one as you want. And I use it again for organization, but as real estate agents, it's really beneficial because because technically you're supposed to keep your documents for 5 years, I believe it is. So you're supposed to keep all of your files for 5 years.
That was 3.
It's like 3, 5.
Okay.
For dentistry, it was 7.
Uh-huh, yeah, yeah. For real estate, we typically say 5. For, I think a lot of other files and stuff, you can do 3. I recommend 5 because you never know when a client's gonna be mad and in 4 years, they can come back at you and say like, hey, you sold my house and you said that this was, and then like you said that this would be covered for 5 years, whatever. But yeah, we keep all of our stuff for 5 years.
Okay.
But that's a good question. Any other questions on that? I just recommend keep your documents in a couple places. Then that way, if DocuSign keeps them, I believe, for that long, but you always want to make sure that you keep them. Because what if 10 years down the line, you're like, oh man, I need to go look up that contract because I want to sell this house again. Like, what did I put on that contract? You just never know.
So where was the 100, whatever? It's in the, well, the email that I
What, the
have as
100?
an agent is not a Gmail.
No, you do. It's a Gmail platform.
Oh, it is?
Yep, your KW is a
KW.com.
Gmail platform.
And that's where the extra storage is?
Yep, so as long as you're using your KW, you get 100 gigabytes. If you're using a Gmail personal, you only get 30.
Well, I have the most. I have like,
You can buy more, but the
yeah, I have the
100 is
most, and I'm not
included.
even like,
Mhm.
I have like 17,000 images in my photos, so.
Yep, so so Keller Williams, you get 100 gigabytes is included in your tech fees.
So since I had about 5 emails that had photos and documents, there was a period I was doing $9.99 a month for that emails storage. But it seems like since I set up sharing, I'm not having to be out $40 a month for storage. Family sharing.
It depends. We can talk about that.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions about Gmail, Calendar, Google Drive? Do we see how you can utilize some of the things that I said for your business, just to kind of make it a little easier on you? I've been using a Google platform now for about 10 years and I still have a Yahoo account and it's my junk mail. It's just like where all my shopping stuff goes, so I go to that. But it has so many different features. Like I was kind of talking about, there's like Google Docs. This looks just like a Word document, but again, it can be updated in real time and you can share your documents with other people and then they can make edits, they can make comments, they can just view things. Makes it really nice and easy. They do have like templates, like here's template galleries, just like Word did. But this is just new age, okay? A lot easier to use. You also have, there's Google Sheets in here. It looks just like Excel. Just like it. Just like Excel. And if you're sharing with other people, they can see everything in real time. So like I go in and I update multiple spreadsheets every single day because I get new information, I onboard somebody, whatever. If I share it to anybody, they can see it on their end too.
I have a flash that's got about 3,000 emails that it was on an Excel, but would it go into that one?
You can convert them.
You can?
It will not fully convert though, because Excel and Sheets do have kind of different formatting.
Okay.
There are certain things that Sheets can do that like Excel can't, but if it's basic stuff, then you can convert it as long as there's not different formatting or functions that
I
aren't-
do have
that are
Excel though.
interchangeable.
I just haven't used it
You
much.
can use Excel.
Okay.
It's just, you have to pay for it. So like, if you want Microsoft Office, you have to pay for it. It's like $100 every like 2 years.
Yeah, I know, and I have it, so for,
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer, but
Yep. But I mean, I tell any agents that have been around for a long time to just start using Google Sheets, because it has happened before that something's gotten lost and or like their computer crashed when they were doing it. Sheets, docs, slides, they also automatically save. They auto save. So like, I'm done typing, 3 seconds later, it's gonna save.
so one of the things on my to-do list is, now that I have my license number, is to do a video and like an update of where I'm at in my life.
Okay.
And then I'd like to be able to set it up. I'm probably gonna have to get MailChimp or something like that, but like the 3,000 email list to at least get that out there
Mhm.
and talk to the people that I have their emails and start sending them information
Mhm.
on a
So you
regular
have a
basis.
MailChimp account? You got one whenever
No,
you
not
joined.
yet.
When you joined KW, you do.
Oh, I do.
Mhm. It's in your Scott Leroy stuff.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Great.
But you do, it is like limited, like, I mean, you get a certain amount of emails a month. I'm not sure how much it is, because they
Right.
kind of they change it and our contract with them changes, but you get that, and utilizing command for command email, sending those things out is what I highly recommend, because then it keeps track of all of it in your database.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm gonna be teaching you a paid ads campaign or paid campaign ads next month at the end of the month. Oh my gosh, thank you. And then Dan Turkel is actually also teaching another command class at the end of next month. Next month's kind of weird because we have mega camp in the middle of the
Yeah,
month.
yeah.
Mega camp's in the middle of the month. School's coming back. We know a lot of people are gonna be doing last minute vacations and stuff like that. So our calendar is a little bit,
Packed.
no, well, it's less than we normally,
Intense.
so I'm only teaching 2 classes next month. I typically teach like 3 or 4. So we're just trying to make it a little, and then Bold starts at the end of the month. But if you guys ever if you're like, hey, I would love to learn more about this, you can set up one-on-one time with me. If you're needing specific help, I love doing those because it's basically tailored to you and what you're needing. And then we can have that hour and go through anything that you're needing help with. I can also, if I'm like, hey, are you cool with me sending you a video for this? I can send you videos or articles. I always recommend Scott Leroy Marketing. They have a whole YouTube page. They update it weekly. It's amazing. Tons of command help. Okay. And then I'm going to be sharing out some more Keller Williams specific training. Same stuff that Scott Leroy goes over, but they teach it themselves too. And those ones though are like live. So you can always sign up for them and you can ask questions as you go through. So that's really nice too. They provide a lot of that and they're going to start providing more coming up. So just be on the lookout for those things.
So for the video I want to do, because I would like to create like a Facebook post from that and an Instagram, but just put it in Google Photos or Google Video. Just use my laptop and use that. Well, I have an additional
You can do that. or you can
camera
use
and
your-
a microphone I can set up and a flash if I need.
Yep. There's different video software and stuff that you can use. I don't know if Google has any. Haley does all of our video.
Okay.
So she'd be a good person to talk to. But if you're wanting to just do like.
I mean, I can do my phone.
Yeah,
I can
you can do
use
your
my
phone and those upload to anything.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna wrap up class and stop recording.